Welcome back to the show, everybody. We had a cancellation, so I just want to what best wishes to Lexi and Brady Gobble. They Lexi, had wasn't feeling good, so I think they had to take her to the hospital. So we're just, we just best wishes and stuff for her. Just hope everything goes good there. That she recovers quickly. So take care. Keep them thoughts and prayers, everybody. So you know that being said, we were left with it. What do we do tonight? Well, we're going to talk random topics, random subjects, stories of the day. Some of them funny, some of them weird, some of them just kind of creepy. So that's a little foreshadowing for one to come. But this episode is brought to you as ERT Radio, courtesy of Ron Tolfar. Go to Mixler.com, create that free account, and just let those sounds smack you right in the ear hole. That'll be just sign up, get that account. It's going to be real easy to do. Mixler.com, and just join up today. Subscribe. Just let them know that you heard about them here on Three Beards Podcast. So just everybody sit back. We are going to have fun. So get those comments ready. Some stories I said we're going to talk about there, and like I said, we are going to just have a blast because this is going to be one that we don't normally do. So this could be a lot of fun, right? And that's now. Welcome to the Three Beards Podcast. My name is Craig, along with Austin and Chris.
Passed to a new generation of Americans born in this century.
Let me out.
I'm afraid that is right. Justice and honor in Massachusetts colony?
All right, and so Chris is here, Brian's here, Austin is not here. So who we brought in? We brought in the man, Mark.
Yes.
And he looks like a chef.
Isn't this your first?
That's right.
Chefing tutorial show.
Yes, that has actually been one of the few people have said that. I'm just like, of all the things, I'm just I got to find time to sit here and do cooking things. So yeah. Oh my God, it's one of those. I would love to do it. I really would. I would definitely need some help. But let's welcome Country Boy Cryptid to the show. Michael Myers, aka Chris, Laura and Laura, both are here, and obviously my dad's chiming in. So hey, Dad, how are you? But yeah, we're gonna be just talking. This is gonna be just a free for all, just talking about random stuff. We're just gonna have fun. Yeah, we're gonna talk about. We'll talk about a few things. I guess. Foreshadow. Do we just want to get it out of the way? Just rip the Band-Aid off on that one.
The new classified documents?
No. Everybody's probably seen. Everybody's probably seen the TLC or heard about the TLC show. The one about a woman trapped in a girl's body. Well, they came out. I think it was the latest episode of that, and they showed the boyfriend of this one, and so I'm gonna put this up here, and this is one I would just tell. This one, it touches on the taboos of society. So I'm gonna lay this out right here. She's 23 and he's 26, and they're dating. This is what they look like.
It's no joke either.
And this is not a joke. She was 8 years old and she was battling cancer and the treatment stunted her growth. So she's basically stuck as an 8-year-old body, but she's 23
God
and
forgive
he's
me.
26. Well, no, that's what I mean. I just, and like I said, when everybody's commenting, this is the thing. They're consenting adults. These are adults that mind you. So, but the thing for me though is
She's real bite size.
how I mean, what do you say? What do you say? I mean, one of those, you look at it and you see this picture and it's like, so what do you do as a guy? I mean, did you just walk up and say, man, she looks hot and I want to go introduce myself to her? I go, this would be in elementary school. So 8 years old. So what's that, second grade? This would be a grown adult going and hitting on a second grader is essentially what this looks like.
Not
And
really.
that's
Maybe she looks older. Maybe people.
Those are current pictures.
I know, but maybe in person, maybe like, hey, how old are you? Maybe are you a little person?
No.
I mean, I don't know.
No.
Well, see, that's just it. It's like they're adults, so one of those things. There's nothing wrong with this relationship, but just when you see it, it's just how would you get past that barrier as an adult to where you would see somebody that would be like that, and you would find somebody that looked that young attractive. That was the one, that was what hit me. It was just it just, that's the part I'm stunned with. I mean, because somebody that we talked with at work was saying, well, maybe they grew up together and so they knew all the story. I go, if that was the case, that would make it so much better. But this one was just simply, I mean, you just picture like she's walking down the mall and the guy's like, ooh, I want to go introduce myself. I go, I can't.
Time out.
Yeah, Laura's like in a hole. I get it. I mean, that's yeah. And then even the other, I believe she met him on Tinder. So this is even worse.
Oh Lord.
This
That's got worse.
No, not really, because I can rebuttal that. So she says, hey, my name is Susie. I had cancer. My growth got stunted. I'm 23. I can prove that.
Yeah, and then the picture shows up, and you just realize you just got catfished, and here comes Chris Hansen.
Yeah.
I'm
Look
just
at the Dateline.
Oh, you got it.
I that's why I said I just like I'm great. It's awesome that she was able to find somebody that loves her for her, but I'm just like, how do you get to that point? Because I'm even that way with like, you see the gymnasts for the Olympics. I go, even that seems like you're almost predatory if you were to go up and start hitting on them. They look like they're in middle school.
Oh no. I've hit on plenty of gymnasts in college, 100%.
Yeah, so that's the way. So I said, that's how I want to start off the show. It's like that's kind of the things. I just, honestly, for people just, so I'm going to give you a topic now. Talk amongst yourselves, discuss. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, it's just
Craig, we might have lost most of the audience with that lead off story. So
the problem you have here is that, well, I have two daughters, okay, and she looks about the size and age of my youngest, who's 11.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be like, this is not right. I call possibly let a cop know, like, there's something wrong going on over here. It just seems wrong. But there are going to be people out there that are going to go up to this guy if they're making out or they're having their a romantic moment with each other, and probably going to kill this guy. Unless
they can't make out in public. They absolutely can't.
Well,
that's
he's going to get killed.
People probably be like, "Oh, is that your daughter?" No, it's my girlfriend.
Yeah, that's just what I mean. Just imagine, like, you see them out there paddleboarding, and they're like, "Oh, honey, we had a great time," and they give a kiss. You're going to be like, "What in the hell just happened? That dude just kissed that kid,"
Right.
And just, I mean, you don't know the story, and I'm like, but yet you don't want people to be afraid to ever find love. But I'm like,
what's love got to do?
Hold on. Here's a good thing here, okay? Because we're getting into that predator and pedophilia type of zone, which I'm not a happy person about. But maybe this is a way to quell their needs by setting them up with stunted growth adults or little people.
That's a good idea.
Like I just wanted to if you were a priest, you should be, within the church, you should have married, be forced to marry a nun.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's
not a vow of celibacy. I mean, it does say be fruitful and multiply. So why not have a father and a sister, come together? But these are taboo subjects. But
yeah,
this is not cool. If I didn't know, or I watched TV or didn't catch this on the news, I'd be like, lock this guy up.
Yeah, it popped up. It was somewhere in the. I just they're like breaking this thing, and I'm like,
that's what she said.
Yeah, it just popped up out of nowhere. Yeah, it's 20.
Oh, he just popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah. But yeah, 26 and 23. I mean, like you said, so everything's legal here. It's just
You
on
should
the
be able to pull out a driver's license and.
So, I mean, you're making too much out of this, Craig. So if I walk up to you and say, "Hey, where's your mom? I want to talk to your mom." She's like, "No, I'm 23." Cool, it's fair game. You're 23. I mean, despite
it's because you actually took the time to go up there and ask. I go, but you're going to see, like I said, you see this. I mean, you see the picture. Like I said, this is the thing. I want you to picture. We're out there. We're over there. Over there near Intercoastal Waterway. You see these two paddleboarding, and they're over there holding hands, and they suddenly kiss. You're not walking up and asking that question. You're going to be like, "Holy God, honey, did you just see what I just saw?"
Your older brother came from college. Oh,
yeah.
No, I mean, you got to give me a better picture. I mean, she looks little.
No,
I mean,
literally, dude,
she is. She
Chris,
literally looks
she
like
is
8.
that
That is the picture.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not a joke.
I can find some that make it look worse when she's wearing the swimsuits, and it really does look like she's a second grader.
I mean, I don't see the second grader. I mean, she's got a baby looking face, but I would be able to decipher that. Like, I mean, I don't know. I think I'd be able to decipher that. Like,
here's the plus size to this whole thing. Plus side, he's definitely going to get her into the theater for child price. They'll probably shop at Baby Gap.
Yeah, she can go to Disney as a child, 10 and under.
I mean, literally, it is a small world after all. Thank you. I'll be here trying to veal.
Oh, we got jokes for days on this one. It's just
Mary had a little lamb.
Oh my God. But it gets scary because in current society, this is really where it really gets scary.
Yeah.
You have a whole bunch of people that are seeking rights that are basically.
There you go, Chris. Does that make her look older?
I mean, she looks older. I mean, she looks older. I mean,
no, no, it's just
here you go, Chris.
Not for me.
No, not that one. No. She looks.
Is that helping? Is that helping your case?
No, she looks like Mason's little friend that they go to their house. No.
That's the point. It's like no.
No.
You know what the problem is? Women, when they get to about, my daughter's 15, she looks like she's 25. But when you get to like 16, 17, 18, girls always look older than they are. Mm-hmm. And that's how a lot of people get in trouble. Okay.
But
boys
there's a caveat.
Always look like idiots.
There's a caveat.
Imagine all the free meals. It's fantastic. You just go to all the restaurants and your date eats for free.
Happy anniversary, honey. Yes, we're at the Sizzler. I'm
gonna have the steak. Today. She's gonna have the chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese.
Yeah,
because that's all the kids man.
He wants Superman.
Oh, so no, you sit down with your girlfriend. They be like, "Sir, do you need a kids menu?" No, I don't need a fucking kids menu. The fuck do I need a kids menu for? Sir, do you need a kids menu? Why do I need a kids menu? Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, you said, but it's one of those. You get it. There's a show. This is on TLC, and it's what you can see these things, and it's like it's you feel for what the situation they go through. But man, I had to bring it up when I saw that. I was just like, oh my God. I mean, how do you even? I mean, how would you even go forward with that? I don't know. I don't. There are questions. So let's break to the
discount.
27th. This could be the final broadcast of the Three Beards podcast because
Yes.
there is a meteor headed straight for Earth and may impact, and it may kill a bird or two.
Yes, it will. I posted it.
Yeah, it's about I think it's roughly 5 meters, so roughly somewhere about 16 feet. So just a little bit bigger than a Suburban in total size. So I mean, it's going to make a fireball at a bang wherever it goes, but it's not going to be any type of like planetary killer.
No, but if you do take a look, and I put up another picture regarding this, there are a couple other objects, and there's one that's 149 meters, which is pretty significant, folks, that is headed the same way. And it's pretty damn big, and it's going to get really, really close.
Except it won't run because I will use I'm going to assume that it's magnetic, and so I will put a magnet on my outside of my house that says Earth Radio, and I will flip it the other way so it polarizes, and it's a reverse card.
Well,
so it won't hit my house.
Here's the plus side of that. If it does hit your house is worth millions of dollars.
I know.
I'll give you an example.
I know. Please hit my house, and then I'll just sell the rock.
Right. There was a guy that had a like beat up piece of shit car, and his house was like, falling down, and a meteor hit it, went through the house, and landed in the trunk of the car. I'm talking about like a 78 Buick. Okay, sold at auction for $25 million. Because
is that crazy?
The meteor, which is out of this world, was in that car. Yep.
That motherfucker can land in my house right now. Fuck that. That
sounds like one of those jokes, like when you always see, like you used to see the Craigslist ads where it would say, buy my car for, $135,000 and I'll throw in the house for free.
Yep.
And it was just,
Creedence did that song "It Came Out of the Sky."
Oh yeah,
it's about the same thing. Just selling the meteorite for $17 million. Get as much money out of it as you can.
Right, that would work. So just so you know, on February 3rd, there will be another object that is 4.7 LD distance. That is 149 meters.
That's
Take
pretty big.
149 and multiply it times 3, and you'll get your answer.
That'll be a close call.
4.7. It's pretty damn close.
Yeah.
Do we know the size of that meteor that flew over Russia and blew out all those windows?
Right? Jablinski was the size of a house. The one that flew over Russia and blew the windows
you
out,
saw.
Yeah, it was the size of a house, and that's the one that blew all the windows out.
Yeah,
this is like a quarter of that size.
Okay,
right.
Well, it's still.
Yeah. So it's going to make it wherever it comes down. It's going to be like, unfortunately, it's probably going to be like smack dab in the middle of the Pacific, where nobody would see. Nobody's going to really see it except for a seal, flying around. So nobody. That's just going to.
So we're a seal.
We're hoping that this thing, when it comes in at 15 feet, it does burn up 90% of it in the atmosphere.
Yeah,
but it will be making a nice pop.
Did they ever say what the composition was? Did they ever get an idea on that?
Composition was this? I think was discovered hidden behind the sun at one point.
That would be even better if it was gold.
Yeah. Well, there's that one. There's a couple of meteor asteroids up there in the asteroid belt that if they can ever mine those, every single person on the planet would be a billionaire.
Yeah. But
then it would. The problem is it would crash the monetary system if they ever got a hold of it. The financial system would melt down because it's more money than the entire globe combined, and so it would just be an instant.
What we're doing here, boys. We're all our majority of us in Florida right now because we really need to make a trip.
Well, that's
we need to take a trip.
I'll say this because I'm sure there's already people working on it, but the person that's going to win this, honestly, and this is a conspiracy theory, but I honestly think this is part of Musk's plan. Is the race is to who can get to the asteroid belt first and mine it. Whoever does that, you want to take the land and railroad barons and all that stuff. That will seem like child's play. Whoever gets to that meteor first is the king.
Well, you know the next rocket is ginormous, right?
Oh yeah. This Starship. Yeah, that thing is the size of a skyscraper. It's 463 feet tall, I think.
Yeah, and that can hold a lot of heavy equipment.
Yeah, because you've got to figure, because I don't know if, I'm sure the technology is being worked on, but you have to figure out some way to zero, atmosphere, be able to fire a furnace and refine. So you have to be able to do it without an atmosphere. And that's one of the things. It's like, can somebody engineer this thing to where you can actually mine the raw material, refine it in space in a vacuum and be able to prepare it, because there isn't, because it would take a lot to capture one in the belt, break the material, shuttle it back and forth to, say, Mars, and then do it. That was what you would have to do. If you can't do it in the vacuum.
Boosters on these rockets, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we use boosters on the rockets. So fire does exist there. I mean, we could configure something. If we built the biosphere, which I've been to, and it was a total failure, but the only successful part of the biosphere, which was supposed to be like, can we engineer a place on Mars or whatever, was that everybody lost a ton of weight there, and they didn't know what to do with it. And I wanted to open up a fat farm there and just lock people into the biosphere. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Brian's Fat Chris, Farm. Come here.
Can we get clapping to that? You got the clapping.
Yes.
Can we clap?
There you go. Seriously, I was sitting there. I'm like, oh my God, this is a gold mine. You lock fat people up in it. You videotape them. They don't get any food. They're gonna shrink by the time they come out. Like, oh my God, Dad, you look great. Thank you. Give me a burger.
And that's, Laura, that's kind of the thing that's one of the things why they're looking for water itself. It's not so much because then you can create fuels, you can create this stuff, and that's what they need, some of these materials. But I honestly, because if you remember, Musk's first thing he said is, we got to get off the planet because AI is going to destroy us all. And then not very long later, he started embracing it with Neuralink and all this. So obviously AI wasn't really the reason. And then you start looking, all these things come out of these asteroids, that these bodies, I mean, we're talking, precious minerals. I mean, just everything that we need for technology is sitting in giant chunks floating around here. So if they get one of these things, like I said, you can buy all, you control all.
No, it just raises the minimum value of funds. So everybody's a billionaire now. So it becomes the equivalent of $1. It goes up,
and that's why it just crashes, because now you're buying the McDouble at McDonald's for $250 million.
Yeah,
it basically just melts down the economy.
Craig, but to get up there and get into Elon's rockets for the personal trips to gather some of these precious interstellar rocks, aren't those booster rockets going to leave a carbon footprint? And is that going to cause Al Gore to continue discussing that the oceans are boiling?
Yeah, that's that. No, it's good. I don't know. I honestly couldn't. It's just because it's one of those things that this is a whole new world. I mean, we're talking in about 5 years. There's plans on these giant skyscrapers like rocket ships, so like constantly lifting off.
I think they're going to be vacating the planet. Actually, I don't look. I think I'm going to give you.
We don't need them anyway.
Great advice. Go take a collegiate level geology 101 and you will understand that there is no global, warming, no environmental danger to this planet. It's an Earth cycle. It happens every 27,000 years. You can't do anything to stop it. It's poles shift, ice melts, water rises, volcanic, everything that they're talking about. There is absolutely nothing we can do to stop this crap.
Yeah, that's just it. That's just it. It's just when Al Gore, and stuff came out and doing these things, they're taking a small sample, and that you can, when it comes to the geologic record, the existence of us and this civilization is, it's a fraction. It's not even measurable. But what we're talking is like, this is catastrophic. You got to remember, the planet was much warmer than it is currently. Much warmer. That's why dinosaurs roamed the earth. They're finding those farm settlements in places where the ice is receding. So obviously it wasn't always there. So either the continents moved up there and froze over, in that thing, but it's you still have it's buried under ice. So obviously these things were usable before and they froze. So it's just to base everything off of a small sampling point is a huge problem, because you could actually just devastate people.
It's a lot of people just look at the pattern started during my lifetime. That's a problem with de-emphasizing history in school, is you really don't you don't learn a comprehensive view of timelines. What happened last week in the Roman Empire were the same time, happened at the same time period.
Yeah, there's zero of that stuff, and that's the problem. Everybody, when you hide all this history, when you hide information and knowledge, or what's currently taking place, they're going on the internet and they're going to different sites and they're changing the definition to suit their needs, which is BS. Everybody's like, we got to do something. The planet's going to die. No, the planet's not going to die. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what's going to happen, okay? Pay attention. They don't recycle crap. They charge you money if you don't recycle because they know they're not going to recycle. That's not going to help you. Here's the big thing. When Fukushima, the reactor went, you can't do crap to save the water on this planet anymore. It's done.
Will my light straw work?
So nothing, it's not going to stop. The storms are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? But all these stupid kids that are being taught not to think for themselves or do research, like you were saying, Mark.
I agree with you, Brian. Yeah,
they're dependent on all those people. Sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
No, I'm just agreeing with you. I think you're
that's an open
accurately depicting what really goes on in schools.
Well, at least in New York City it did. Down here it's a lot better than that. At least they're teaching them to think a bit, and they're really. I'm going to say it. My move from New York down to Florida, big distance, but education's far superior down here. Far superior. For me, they're addressing any issues concerns. These kids are actually learning, and they're doing experiments in science, not this pre-programmed crap. And they're being taught to think and ask questions, not rely on another person.
But
that's because he doesn't cut corners, Harlan.
But I heard the education in New York was better. That's what I heard, being a Florida.
Yeah. No, it ain't. Nope. It is. They do not address any type of learning disability. You have to be an honors program, and their honors program is everybody's a freaking honors student. It's just, it's not even an honors program. It's just a name, and that's where the attention goes. But you're already the A student to begin with at honors. So basically, it's a land of the blind.
Everyone gets a trophy.
In the land of the blind,
for
the
participating.
Idiot is king. Oh, the participation is crazy. And then they're trying to. it's more about all the diversification and LBQP. You know,
C D E F G.
Yeah, whatever. It's just enough. They're not teaching
That
foundation
soup.
math or science. The worst was my youngest came home and we're doing like subtraction or whatever. And she goes, no. You have to make 10 to subtract. I'm like, no, you just subtract.
Oh,
You
yeah,
just
that's that
subtract.
Yeah.
We don't
that's
make
that
10 to
common core.
subtract. We subtract. And I showed her, like, my teacher's not going to like it. I'm like, I don't give a damn what your teacher likes. You're going to learn. And would show them 3 or 4 different ways to get the same answer. But the problem was that even if the kid got the wrong answer, like really bad, as long as they explained it, they got credit. That's stupid.
Yep.
Try that with the IRS. But I got the right. I can explain how
Zero.
this number is the way it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agent Bob, come in. Can you arrest them, please? Thank you. Okay.
There's a
Where's
couple
Armando?
there's a couple that I asked Craig about. Like, the IRS never ratified that you had to pay taxes, correct? So why do we have to pay taxes? But they're gonna arrest you and throw you in jail because ain't nobody gonna say, "Oh, no, you don't."
Yeah,
have to pay
there's been plenty of people that have tried that defense, and they are all currently sitting in jail or they owe lots of money.
It was never, the IRS can't make the law. Congress can. And I think they did pass something recent, well, within the last 10 years, which kind of said you got to pay them. But
But it was never ratified by the states, which is they are correct about that. It was never but the problem is that, like you said, other legislations come in place and it's in de facto put it in place, and so it's a loss every time. I mean,
I think it's going to be challenged this year, though. All of that, I really do.
Yeah, King, we got to be really careful on that. We'll probably touch on a little bit, but anything that deals with the C19 topic, even new strains, anything type that instantly flags you. So that's you have to be really careful on that. That's a great time to actually bring that up. That's one of those things. When Roderick Martin was on, he even brought that up. It's like, if you find value in this, it just basically for the price of a cup of coffee or something like that, you could help us out. I mean, if we could get a place where we can start putting some funds into it, we can start setting up a little thing where we could have like an after hours chat and we could actually dive into these things. Yep. But unfortunately, we're in YouTube and Facebook sandbox, and they do not allow that. And it's one of those, you get a strike. It's not one of those like, okay, I'm sorry. It's like, no, you're like, bam. And then you're going to have to see us in a whole nother iteration. We're going to have to start over.
Roderick texted me when he came in. He said, I'm looking forward to speaking to you. I texted him, can't wait. Never heard from him again.
DJ just got back. I'm saying DJ just because, you all might catch what I'm talking about.
I know you're talking about.
He just got his suspension lifted off of Facebook and Instagram. So he's going to be back on the Instagram, on the G-gram.
Well, I like what he was talking about suspension, but what King is mentioning in the comments, there's a lot of that stuff going on right now, King.
Mm-hmm.
Globally,
yeah.
It's not just in Mexico.
Trust me. I mean, I wish
weird crap.
I really wish I could, it's one of those things. I feel like it's neat, reach down, find my balls and talk about it. But it's one of those, the minute you do, all the hard work is out the window. I mean, it's just, I talk about this all the time. I use this example. This is like the Revolutionary War. We can't walk up and just punch a red coat in the face and say, gotcha, bitch. It's like I said, you have to do the pamphlets. You have to go behind the scenes. You have to talk to people that aren't part of your crowd, like preaching to the choir. But the thing is, it's like, as soon as you do, you're shut down. I mean, there's no like, ask the gentleman here and the one below me, and they say they even cross they forget to cross an I on that post, and guess what? They're getting their little pee-pee slapped, and they're in Facebook jail for a little while
without Vaseline. So I'm trying to go live at my son's track meet, and I'm like, shit, I've been popped for 30 days for something that was 2 years ago.
Honey, give me your account.
Give me your phone, honey, quick. Why?
Yeah, but
I'm in Facebook jail.
That's
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's
I
like you
know.
can use code words, but they catch on really fast. In the algorithms, they catch on.
Dana
Yeah,
knows.
there's a lot of I've heard people trying different things that work for a little bit, but they patrol it enough where, uh, they'll see what you're doing and you get sent to jail for a month.
The only one that don't send you to jail is if you say something and you put a lot of spaces in it, and it just looks like you're just a retard. FUFC space, and they're like, oh, we can't decipher what the hell he's talking about. But
Well, it's like he just said right there, and it is. There's some documentaries out there about clotting, and unfortunately, that's as far as I can go into saying that, because you start doing those things, we have to wait for a couple months until
#DNS.
till the accepted science catches up, and then you can freely talk about something that we were going to get ourselves banned for a couple months ago. It's just
Just mention my name in Facebook jail, and I promise you'll get a good seat.
dude, when I come in there, when I come to Facebook jail, they're like, "Oh boy, he's habitual, boy. We already know."
OGs are down.
Yeah, I get put on death row immediately when I say some shit on the book.
So it's one of those, like what we're talking about. So you just, we're not. This isn't like a Tammy Faye and Jim Baker thing where we start crying and tell us, give us the money. We need the money so we can help. No, it's one of those things. If you can get Facebook stars, awesome. If you can subscribe, awesome. If you can't, share the program, share it to your friends, tell them why you like watching the show. And it's one of those, you heard that old thing. It's like, hey, find a friend and invite them and bring them in. Let's make it sound like one of those creepy cults. Go find 2 friends and bring them to the meeting and see what they think. Yeah, but it's one of, and then once we get you in, then we will talk to you and we will preach to you about the religion known as Beardoism. The secret bearded cult that is known by few, but
known by few, loved by many, and you can donate your whole retirement to us.
But that's one of those things. I mean, that support helps us, and we can do those things. But that's one of the things. It's been, and Ron, it's been, we really appreciate your sponsorship. That really helped.
Yeah,
that's. That's one of those things that's been.
You'd be easier to, it's.
Yeah, and that's Laura. That's the same thing. You get kicked for comments.
Yeah.
She got kicked from Facebook for that comment.
Really?
See? Yeah. Yeah. She made this comment literally in Facebook jail because someone else was being racist. That's what I mean. They have this sandbox, and if you do not play by their rules, you get. Out you go.
So the last Facebook,
am I going to get in trouble for that?
Maybe.
So I got a friend of mine was like, go ahead and wear that dress like a bad bitch. They got her for bullying. Like, are you serious? Like, I'm like, hey, they posted it back for bullying. Like, you were telling her to emphasize that they should have read into it a little more. Go ahead and wear the dress. Like, hey,
yeah.
I don't know.
And it's, we have people right now. If you're watching this currently, hit the like button. Like right now, just take time, just hit the like button. Love, care, wow, just the angry face. I don't know why you're mad at us, but you don't have to. Hey, at least it's a reaction. But
angry face. What the hell is that?
Yeah. So just if you can do that right now, just hit the likes. Just it takes 1 second, but that helps. Just do that. Share. Right. Yeah, that's one of those. I'm not sure. Yeah, so that's one of those.
Scaring an alien. So
now it's so here, let's do a comment. So Laura, is the ginger beard in space, or is he hiding from alphabet people? He's
got on a helmet right now, and he's like, alphabet people.
I don't know. He said, I think he said he had a date with the tax preparer today. I'm like, you seriously planned that on Wednesday? And he's like, well, I wanted as soon as possible. I'm like, oh, January. Yeah. But on a Wednesday.
Yeah. I think Monday was the first day you could file, earliest file date.
But
it's not going to be with the new 87,000.
I hope they vote those asses out.
Yeah. I think I think that was already
It
taken
was done,
care of.
right? We're
That's
not
not
paying
even
for
on the-
87,000 to go after Americans. I don't know. Maybe it's just
You
me.
know, people thought they got these PPP loans and they were free. They're charging people back for these PPP loans.
Yeah.
They thought that was free money. Now, like, people who didn't even deserve PPP loans got them, and now they're like, oh, well, I got to pay that back.
But- And
I
that's
got-
it's funny you said that too, because that's one of those things a lot of people don't understand. These things are by design. They're not that it's strictly for that. I mean, I'll name one name. People have probably heard the corporation BlackRock.
Yeah.
These ones, and I'll even say another one, Nestle. Nestle is another one. They're buying up every water source that they can get their hands on, and eventually this is going to become a problem. Everybody's like, "Hey, I just made a bunch of money. I just sold, Grandpa's well in the backyard." Well, you're going to try to put a well in. You're going to tap into an aquifer that they claim the rights to. In the same way, like you said, with those PPP loans, BlackRock, they're buying up property. They're basically locking you into generational debt that you cannot get out of, and you are stuck. Now you must play by the rules, or they're going to take everything.
Well, speaking of Nestle, and I'll say it straight up, the CEO of that evil bastard literally stated publicly that humans have no right to water.
Yeah.
And I will not support any company that is like that. Our aquifers, I think, are national security risk, and we have congressmen and senators that's selling them to the Chinese and everybody else. And what they do is they pump out the good stuff and they're pumping back in the crap. Okay, and Nestle should go out of business. I don't give a damn about you goddamn chocolate.
no.
And all their other products. George, what's his name? Clooney, Mr. freaking Dufour, about all the slavery in Dufour, the Chinese against the Dufour. Yet he has no problem doing his Nescafe commercials for his really high-end coffee machine or whatever it is by a company who doesn't believe humans have a right to water.
No,
Yeah.
I got one even better for you.
Yes.
Did you see Coca-Cola has been sued for they're saying their orange juice is completely pure and pure no concentrate, and it contains like 20 additives. If you look at I forget the name of the
Coke makes
name.
orange juice?
Yeah.
They own it. It's probably like Tropicana.
No, Nature's Best.
Nature's Best. Yeah, it's one of those.
Wow.
Well, that's the
Yeah,
thing is because they're buying. If you actually look at the package, you see some of these companies, and the makers that bring you toilet cleaner also own food products, Unilever. And then so you see these corporations, they're buying up all, diversifying, and so it's kind of ironic the food product makes you use the toilet, and then they give you the product to clean it. It's all a wonderful cycle. But that's you see these things, they're buying this stuff up, and they don't make any qualms about it. Like here down in Florida, Zephyr Hills, that's been bought up by a major, one of them. I don't know if it's Nestle that owns it.
Zephyr Hills is probably owned by the same company. I think it's the one that bought Poland Springs, and it's oh my god,
It's one of the major corporations that have bought it up. And it's the thing is they're locking these things down, and these are major water sources. And once
how is that not a monopoly? You can't own so much.
it's
subsidiaries are a way to avoid monopolies.
I'm trying to remember the name of the movie. It was Robert Day Lewis was in it. I will drink your milkshake, and that's basically the line. And that's basically what they've done is that they buy up the rights to this aquifer, and then you go to want to drill a well, you can't, because you will tap into something that they own. It's basically like purchasing a mineral right. And now you've locked out people from doing something that we've been able to do from as long as we can remember. Dig down and find water source. Well, now you can't do that.
We gotta stop selling stupid shit like that. Like airspace in New York, you own the space above your building. Well, how the fuck do you own air? Like what the fuck?
I don't know if this is true or
Poland
not.
Springs owns Nestle's, just so you know.
Who does?
Nestle owns Poland Springs. They bought it up.
Yeah, so they bought that. Yeah, and that's what I said. They're just slowly grabbing all this stuff. I remember a story, kind of those things. It was Donald Trump was trying to build the Trump Tower in New York, and I don't know if the story is completely true. It's like they refused to sell him the airspace that you needed for the tower, and so
people own airspace, and
yeah,
it's
and so
true.
yeah, and he told so they were denying it. Well, he was going to build a tower anyway. So what he did is he said you could either approve this, or he had his architect if the story's correct, drop this most god awful, hideous pink tower that was underneath the airspace, and it said you have two choices. You can either approve it, or I'm going to build this one. But either way, one's being built. It's up to you. And they sold him the airspace.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's one of those stories. But that's one of the things we gotta get to fun. This is all depressing, angry. Anybody got any
see some
fun
alien?
ones?
Fun ones.
Any
Fun ones.
fun
No, I
ones?
mean, something that's been, it's not fun, but it's very interesting, and everybody can pay attention to it if they want. Something that was interesting is I've noticed, and there's been a lot of talk about a portal
Oh yes, the
being
portal.
opened over the White House, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. It's been there since this administration has been in, and it's pretty interesting because if you go to the camera for 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, you will see what looks like a portal there. There is a red image to it, and I took a picture of it last night on my phone. So
Now, what do you think it is, honestly? Because
originally,
there's
I
talk
thought
that lens flare, spotlights.
I thought at one point it may have been something along the lines of debris or like a dried rain, drop or something like that
On the camera. Yeah.
Right. But I know that they do use these cameras quite often, so they do clean them. But in this other image that I had, and I don't know how it presents it if I share my screen, but I will share my screen. There is an image of a double image of this, it's not just one portal, there is two of them there. I don't know if that worked, if I shared it and it worked, but if you can see it, there's a blue one and there is a red one, and the red one is the one in the video that I sent out to select people. It had a little too much religion in it for me, too much Jesus, and I have no problems with Jesus, but there is something odd there. But this is just one portal of many that are appearing around the world, and they're like really good portals, like spiral portals, and like there's movement.
Well, somebody asked it. So, what are the theories that you've heard floating around there? Because I mean, I've heard some like aliens. This is the way the aliens are keeping tabs on certain areas. You've heard the satanic side, which, like that video that you'd shared with us. I go, one, Brian and Chris can both dispel this rumor that DC was built as a satanic. Basically is a base for Satan to return to this realm, and it was due to the Freemasons' design, and that's why this portal to hell has opened up above the White House, because the Biden administration is in league with the devil, and it just goes off the rails. And it's one of those. I'm like, I don't like a lot of the stuff that Biden has done since he's been in office. I don't think he's a Satanist. I don't think he's doing all this stuff. So I mean, the video just went. I'm just like, whoa. I'm like,
aren't hexagonal images like on that screen a naturally occurring? That's how. It's a naturally occurring feature on film.
There is a hexagonal. Well, some of if you take pictures with your camera, regular camera, not like one of the digital ones, you'll see the
sun
lens,
hits it.
Right.
at a certain angle, and you get the or this like sun devil. Are they called sun devils?
Yep. They
Yeah.
do call it Sun Devils. But this is totally different. This seems very different than any other. This doesn't seem like anything else that's would be classified as a flare or like when you shoot with an iPhone video, there's a blue dot that always appears. So I mean I must have debunked hundreds of images of, look, there it is, it's right there, there's an orb or there's a UFO, and I'm like, no, that's an iPhone.
Yeah.
Oh, you should have told me that. Thank you for telling me that. I didn't know that. Like,
Especially when you're in shitty light, you'll see this blue dot. Samsung has another I think it's more purple or something. There is another little thing you'll see in the Samsung videos, and I've had shots before that were that had that kind of stuff in it, whatever. But this is not a sundog. This is something really, really odd.
Yeah, and Julie's thing, who's opening these? That's the thing. I mean, if you watch a lot of things like go on YouTube or type it up, one of the main theories you're going to see is that there's a demon in the White House. It's demonic. This is a satanic portal.
I can believe that.
Well, it is one of those things that you always see when paranormal investigations. Everything's a demon.
Right.
It's not a demon. I mean, there's some pretty people. I mean, who didn't live across the street from some crotchety old person who didn't want you on their lawn? Well, guess what? They die. They're in their house. They still don't want you in their damn house. They're crotchety.
Dust falling from the ceiling.
Yeah. Those 3 scratches on your back is probably from the egg beater because little Miss Johnson didn't want you in her house and she's just smacking you in the back with it. It's like it's not some demonic scratch. So it's like I'm like, not everything has to be a demon.
Yeah, but when you try to tell that to people, they don't want to believe it. So they're not gonna believe it, and that's the problem. That's a huge problem. And it's what are you gonna do?
Yeah, but Laura brings up it's just some the lizard people. That's one of those things. I'm going to be honest. I have a hard time with the lizard people thing. Do I think there's the reptilian race? Yes. But the fact that they've infiltrated and they're wearing human skin suits, I have I don't know. I haven't seen anything that would be concrete proof because most of the videos I've seen, it looks like a really bad CGI that shows the eye switching.
Might be just more that they're the Nephilim.
Yeah,
that
could
be. You are actually looking at an actual image of an extraterrestrial right there. That's not CGI. I'm not going to tell you how I got it. It basically was sent to me by 0000000 phone number. It's legit. It's a legitimate image of what you want to call an extraterrestrial.
So it's when I guess in a way you could see like how the lizard, thing, and that's what I said. It could the things that part I don't know. But the one that they say like Biden's one, that's because his earlobes changed, and I'm like, it's called a facelift. The man's had plastic surgery for so many times. I was like, they're gonna have to reattach as they're adjusting. And it's like. I'm like, I could buy that stuff. I mean, has nobody noticed the fact that his hair suddenly reappeared and his face is smooth? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's had a little work done.
It's not only that.
Pretty sure.
Is that what he's doing on the weekends in Delaware?
Yeah.
With the locked Corvette.
Yeah, we could bring that up. Two is, could everybody realize? And now I'm hoping that everybody can finally take a step back and realize that. Everybody takes classified documents with them somewhere. My wife made an amazing point, and I hadn't even really thought about that. Now, if we're in government right now, let's just picture that we're, Chris is president, we're the chief of staffs, and we're doing all this stuff. We have a dinner. We bring in somebody, some head of state that comes in and has a dinner that's not really on the books. That menu is actually a classified document. And so if you actually keep that menu and take it home with you, you have actually taken a classified document with you. And that's the thing is, you see the news, they're not telling you what the classified documents are. So
Right.
a lot of these things could literally be, hey, Pence, I need you to go do this. That's a classified document. And he's got that because Pence just came out stuff. Biden's got stuff all over this, locked, safely locked up next to his Corvette in his garage. Trump's got the stuff at Mar-a-Lago. I bet you if you go back, Barack Obama probably has some stuff sitting in somewhere in a box
Here's the
somewhere
deal.
because they all do it.
He's burned it all already.
Here's the difference. The president of the United States is legally allowed to declassify
Yep.
anything they want.
Vice
And
President's
Trump
not.
has legally declassified everything he's had. And it's also, if you compare and how it's kept, it is under heavy lock and key, Secret Service
Not
And
where the
it's been that
Corvette
way.
is.
forever.
Yeah.
The vice president is not allowed to have secret documents like that. The president,
And that's the thing is, you notice they don't talk about what it is. That's the thing.
It would really solve a lot of issues. Okay, don't say it's nuclear codes. We went through that, and then that story just quickly disappeared. But if it's one head of state sending a letter to a president, and it just said, my wife and I greatly appreciate your hospitality as we visited the United States, and the discussions over the delicious meal we had at the White House or Naval Observatory. Then tell us that's what's considered
right?
a classified ad, and no one's going to get upset. But if it's like some kind of seems like it is related to national security, then make that distinction so that this kind of stuff isn't happening to everyone. Everyone who might be running for office, now is going to be thrown in jail for having classified documents, or is that the purpose? Is just to eliminate competition?
They're not throwing nobody in jail, because if that's the case, a whole lot of people will be in jail right now.
Oh, just
Yeah.
but tell us what it is. What was it? What's in those pages?
Why did they go to Pence house? Did somebody
Well,
say,
he
I
called
know
it in.
somebody.
He called it in. Pence called his own. Called it in because he's running for president.
Man, he should have burned that shit. You have me burn. That's the key word. That's a new word for anything
Let me tell you
classified.
something.
Burn that shit. Oh,
Mike
well,
Pence's
damn.
closet has all the
BTS.
other skeletons in there.
Yeah.
And it may be very homosexual skeletons, from what I understand, and that goes against his Christian background. So it's not going to be really nice when it comes out. He ain't going no place.
And Julie's right. Is it to get an emotional rise out of people? It is. I mean, you notice, because you see that if anybody that's not really paying attention, you can see. I mean, because when you have people like Whoopi Goldberg, that's just they're going off the rail. Trump, and as soon as Biden has it here, they're like, well, there's a reason for this. You can see that it's not about the rule of law. It's about your team.
Yep.
Your team is fine, the other team is bad, and that's the biggest thing about politics. You got to take the team jerseys off.
Here's something very important about this whole thing. Every time they brought something up against Trump, okay, it's been flipped and gone right back at them worse. He's got to get that rest. He's got to run tomorrow. You got to get that rest, Mason.
Night, Mason.
Night, Mason. So what's really genius about this, I don't know if it's Trump's team or whatever, but they go after him about secret documents, and what happened? Now everybody's targeted. Everybody is now on the list and fair game for the secret documents.
What, and the crazy part too is, we could actually bring it up almost to a point. Is you've got Hillary, and so you start seeing these things, and you realize,
Hillary.
yeah, and that's you know, and that's the thing. It's like people realize when you start going back, then, you know, maybe when these people, I mean, obviously they're never going to admit it, but then people start like, oh, well, yeah, I guess they do. And you start realizing everybody does it. They keep stuff because it gives them, they have dirt on their opponents.
Yep.
They do it because they just absolutely forget that they threw it in their briefcase. They do it because they want to keep something in case they get in trouble. They all do this.
But
And they
I'm
just,
telling you,
yeah.
everybody's in the hot seat right now. So what I'm telling you, what happened? Michelle, hey Michelle, we need to get a fire pit in the backyard. We need to burn all that shit we got in the closet. Burn it all, shit.
I mean, Michael. Oh, ooh.
Oh, now we. Oh,
Got
man.
more than I have.
But what about the timing? It just like is happening all at once. Is that staged?
I think so. It could be. Everybody telling on everybody.
It is honestly, it's one of those you've seen. There's a couple people. I'm still holding out reserve, but I honestly think that there is a little bit of life at CNN. I honestly think that the new leader saw writing on the wall, and he has to make some changes before they go under. And so because of this, they're like, what used to be just a complaint blanket, just like forgetting, they're like, no, we got to run these things. And now people are ahead of this stuff because they know they don't have as many safe spaces as they do. I mean, because all of a sudden, everybody's talking about it. They can't hide it like they used to because shows like this are talking about it. They can't. And so if you don't, you're going to get out. That's what I said. CNN was just going.
CNN's done because CNN.
And yeah, he's trying to level it out.
What? That's the bottom line. CNN has lied over and over and over again, and these people have gotten caught. Their ratings just keep plummeting.
Mm-hmm. And that's
Mark Dice is in his kitchen. He gets more ratings than Don Lemon and Lemon.
Yep.
And what's his name? The other guy, Brian Seltzer, who used to make that fun of all the time. But I think what you really have here is not just the news getting to it. I heard something a long time ago when all these people started talking about Q. Okay. It's not Q Anon, it's Q. Anon is the anonymous, and Q is Q. It's not the same thing. And all this stuff, and because I'm on any type of site because you need information, and I know all the people on those darker sites and whatever. And the same thing has been mentioned, not only with them, but other people I know, intelligence. You ever hear of 5D chess? That's what's being played right now. And the fucking champ is Donald Trump. And he's playing chess. And he's big on chess. And his son is even better than him in chess. And he's winning. Every move they make towards the king, DJT.
My chess game is an amazing game. I am totally good at this. Sir, you suck at chess. I hate chess. That's why I play checkers. Checkers is the way to go.
Somebody's
the best camera.
Yeah.
Somebody's son's a crackhead.
Oh, his son is
walking
a skier.
a line.
His son's a skier, but the other son is, you started this show with this really young looking girl, right? And there's
I don't quite know if I was setting it up for this, but all right.
Well, you just did, and this is a great way to set it up because there's somebody right now in office, and people may know him as the big guy.
D's.
And he's got a son that is just god awful, like effing.
You said it like DJ. His son is god awful. I tell you, he's very awful.
Well, it is. It's just one of those, because we don't delve into politics all that much. It's
no.
But it's well. I'm not trying to deflect from this. I'm just like, this is one of those things where I don't care what side of the, at what point did people start looking and they realize this isn't a problem? I mean, this isn't just like one of those, like, I don't like it because it's Democrat. No, you look at these things. I mean, I have a video from a few years ago when he's trying to sign a bill and he's looking around and there's one pin, and he can't grab it. He's just like repeatedly trying to grab the pin. and you're just like, guys, there's something wrong. I mean, I don't care. I don't care. It's not because I'm not a supporter. It's like there's something physically wrong, and this is the guy that's in charge.
Right.
Maybe the pin had kryptonite.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just there's just things like that. I mean, it's like it doesn't even have no policy. It's just it's like
It has nothing. I'm sorry, Mark. It's nothing to do with the right or left. It's about humanity. What you would do as a human being and how you would treat people.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. And what's some of these people in power are doing it's really inhumane, and no one's calling them out on it. That's
Well, Craig,
Mhm.
2 years ago, maybe, when Charlie was a guest, he spoke about all all these dualities that are going on. You have people from both parties having these classified documents. It's all staged where everyone you live in this dual world where it's designed to keep you wondering about what's going on over here. Then all of a sudden it happened, my guys, and it's designed to confuse you. And is someone behind all these document placements just to continue, just another effort to weaken America and bring it under the Great Reset?
Well, it's funny that you said the Great Reset too. That's actually a great segue. Did anybody, how many people paid attention to the fact that for the first time, Soros and Klaus Schwab did not show up to the Davos thing? And for anybody that doesn't understand that, these are two major players in that meeting, and they opted out of showing up. And that's should be telling for anybody because this is their baby. And they're like, yeah, we're not going.
Well, to address you, Mark, with what's going on here, it's been rumored that the current person in office, the plan was the current person in office would be there no more than 2. He would step down so that the second person, who is more controlled, would be the first whatever, and also be able to in office. And then they put possibly the Speaker of the House or Gavin Newsom now into the office. The person that's currently there is so out of he ain't leaving. So the only way to get him out is to force him out, and hence why the people that are his lawyer is actually turning on him. That's
illegal to do that.
I don't know what the full deal, but it's being reported by people that are very close to him, and it seems more designed to get him out. His approval levels are like 2.
It's like 4. Yeah, it was like 41% was one of the last polls I saw. But whether or not you believe that, because
I'm not. And Brian, I'm not trying to turn our discussion into pro or
this is not pro or anything. This is about what I've understood and have researched. It has no. I'm not pro anything. I'm pro Americans,
and that's where so many people keep bringing up what you just said is all these just constant distractions, just nonstop, just every day. It's something new, disaster. It's planned.
Yeah.
Who's really behind it? Why can't it stop?
Well, I mean, it's all speculation, right, guys? I mean, it's all speculation. Who's behind it? There's a lot of talk that the guy that's really pulling a lot of strings currently right now, that is in control, is a former president that was in office with the current
Before.
president and has some connection to it. And this is, what happens here is all of these people, everybody that's listening to this podcast, everybody that goes to work, everybody that works their ass off to get whatever, we're getting screwed by it. It doesn't matter if you're on the D side or the R side or the in between side. We're all getting screwed, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it for everybody.
Yeah,
Man, perfect
yeah.
segue. I'm about to get a chicken and put it in my backyard. Have you seen the price of eggs? I'm about to have a chicken clucking in the backyard while you bullshit.
Not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea, but you know what? They'll outlaw chickens. Although,
along with the rainwater.
Yeah, that's what they'll do, and it's just. But no, I kind of agree. I really agree with how you laid it out too, because I said this. Chris knows this. I said this after the election. The midterms is really going to determine what it is, because the Democrats are faced with a problem that they can't. There's no winnable thing that they had to do, because what they were faced with last year, they had Biden, Kamala Harris, and Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi is, and this is their top three. For the chain of command. Biden obviously has a cognitive issue, whether it's Alzheimer's, dementia, something's going on. So Kamala Harris is incredibly unlikable. She wasn't even liked during the primary, and that's the thing. So the main reason they brought her on as a vice president wasn't because she was black, wasn't because she was the thing. Well, yeah, not even that. But it was like the reason they brought her in is because they had to clean up her overall record, and it had to give her something that she could actually hang her hat on, per se, and show that this is the accomplishment I've done. But she's done such a bad job as vice president, that's not helping. And then, so if you take those two out, the next one is Nancy Pelosi, and she is not a viable thing. So now, what we're in is now we're here in the midterms. She's out, Pelosi's out, but we're still in the process. So here's the thing: is if they 25th Amendment Biden out, now you're bringing in Harris. Harris is still not popular, even in her own party.
She's chucks and pearls, baby, chucks and pearls.
And so that's not a great option. And so what do? You bring in somebody like you said, California, Newsom. He barely beat that challenge in California.
The recall.
Yeah, to Ellison. So he barely went. So he's not really this savior. I mean, they really are in a problem right now, because something needs to be done, but they can't. And unless they actually do, I mean, as far as I know, Biden has clearly said he's running again. But I honestly feel it's the Woodrow Wilson thing all over again. That Jill is the one that's actually, just like the white. I can't think of it was because Woodrow Wilson had the stroke.
Yeah, and FDR was, a rumor has it, Eleanor was doing a lot of work.
What was Woodrow Wilson's wife's name? I can't remember. Does anybody remember that?
Myra.
Yeah, I know this is something that pop culture reference. Everybody's got the top of their head, Yeah. But yeah, anyway, Woodrow Wilson's wife, he had a stroke, but nobody knew it because she was doing all the stuff like signing. So she actually, it was de facto the first female president.
Edith Boiling. Latin.
Yeah, and so she did. So honestly, I'm under the impression that Jill actually does a lot of this stuff behind the scenes too, and it's one of those. And that's the thing is, so obviously, power corrupts, and so obviously you can see they're not doing the best for somebody. So what do? You keep them in office, you keep doing this stuff. You're going to run again. And you're just going to hope, like Weekend at Bernie's, you can pull it off again. Have Weekend at Bernie's too.
I'll tell you, I don't think it is Jill doing a damn thing there, and I really do think that O is pulling all the strings here and is putting all the people in place.
Oh, it could be, yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
Man, here's what's messed up. The man walked into the White House and totally ignored the president. Yes, he was the president, but gave him no respect. Like he walked in as I'm the boss, and that's what it was. Joe was nowhere to be found for that. I mean, they
But
have video of him walking. It was
he stood
pathetic.
by
He was
himself.
really there. Yeah, and what's
Let's-
really scary here is I don't care if you voted for him or the other person or whatever. I don't care. You're being manipulated and you're paying the price for it.
Mhm.
These
Oh, yeah.
people it's a really bad situation for us. That's
Yep.
why there's
Yeah,
no end.
we didn't vote for the people behind the scenes.
No.
And
didn't.
that's unfortunately what you have. It's a lot of it. It's incredible how the shadow, everybody says like conspiracy, the shadow government, we realize every now and then. I mean, I've told Chris this when we first became friends and stuff, when we were talking about these subjects. I said, one of the greatest mistakes that Barack Obama made as president is like the wizard in Wizard of Oz. He allowed the curtain to be pulled back.
Yep.
And people saw that what was actually behind in the machine, the machine that was being run. And after that, it showed people that, okay, wait a minute. And he showed the thing that Congress basically has become a defunct organization, that everything is done through executive order and regulation. And that's how things are run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest mistake that O made was not doing for people of color what he did nothing for him. If you want to take the list of accomplishments of who's done the most for, and I hate the term, but people of color, minorities, women, uneducated, no high school diploma, whatever, just take a list all the accomplishments from each one of the last 10 presidents. Okay. Since Lincoln, just list it. See what's going on. You'll be really surprised. And this is why come the last election, not the last one, prior to that, there was a community that did not vote the Democratic way, which everybody thought they would, because they woke up to the fact that the man that was in there that had the opportunity, he was right there at the spot. He could have just turned the key, wrote executive orders, brought people together, and really did some good stuff. Did nothing.
Nothing.
And how effed up is that? The guy that did the most, and I'm not doing it because of a support or whatever. It's a fact. The guy that has done the most to help out the Black community, the Asian community, the Latin community, women, gay or lesbian, high school educated, no college educated, you name it, is the guy they're attacking 24/7 the last 4, 5, 6 years.
Well, the main reason he was attacked anyway is because he wasn't supposed to win.
And he can't be bought. He's not.
Yeah.
He's one of those
Well,
guys bought.
Well, and that was, well, even then it's like he was part of the system. I mean, he went to he was part, Bill and Hillary, he went to their weddings. He was buying, he was buying access by donating to all the candidates. He was part, he like I said, he was behind the scenes, and he even says it right there. It's like, I know it's corrupt because I used it.
Yeah, that is the greatest line ever.
Yeah. I mean, I
used it. It's corrupt. I know it
yeah,
is.
and so
I'm using it.
Yeah, that shows right there. And the reason they didn't like it was because he wasn't going to play the system like they wanted. And so that's why it was from the very beginning, it was attack, make sure that this thing just gets absolutely shut down. And that's what
Going back to Klaus Schwab and Davos, which I think is an absolute evil. I think anybody that goes to Davos or is part of it, no matter if you're a corporate or political person or in the government, whatever, you're in Davos, you should be removed from office. You should have no access to any type of office or government or any type of whatever. You are causing the problem. That man went to Davos and told them, no, we're not doing that. America's never going to be a socialist country because we weren't built that way. And that threw a wrench into everything. That's their NWO, if you want to talk about that.
And one last thing, while we're still dabbling our toes into the politics side. Did you see what Senator Josh Hawley he's proposing for legislation? He
No.
calls it the Pelosi Act, and
3 beers in a shot.
well, it's banning lawmakers from trading and owning any stocks, or I want to say it's bonds.
I agree.
And so, as when you're elected, you have to offload your portfolio, and you can't own or trade stocks as long as you hold office.
I thought that was already a law.
That
No.
they got rid of the insider trading side. That was what they passed, because for the longest time, a lot of people don't know this part either. So you could go, this was legal up until like a couple of years ago. You could go as a thing, like we'll say all of us are on the committee. We know that we're getting ready to pass the fact allowing Union Pacific access to a rail line for this and this. So what we do is all 4 of us go out and we just buy a ton of Union Pacific stock. Well, guess what? Next week we announce the legislation that just opened this. Union Pacific stock goes through the roof, and now we've just made a ton of money. That was legal. That was completely legal. So that's why all these government officials are worth millions of dollars after they come into office.
So there was a former president who made it publicly known, not like through the media, but it was known that a certain deal and company wasn't going to get used and whatever. Okay. And their stock, because everybody was banking this company A was going to be the company, the stock went down to pennies on the dollar.
Yes, sir.
And that former president told his associate or a friend, go buy the stock. You're going to buy the stock tomorrow. And then after that was done, he bought it all on pennies on the dollar because everybody was unloading it. A couple of days later, he goes, nope, we're going to actually use that company. And the stock went whoosh, instant multi-billionaire. There you go.
Yeah, I wish Elon's coin would do that. Or
Well, it's just
Dogecoin.
that was just the thing. It's something that is completely illegal for us. Politicians can just run rampant and just because they know it. I mean, you have it doesn't like especially if you're on one of the committees, you know that we're getting ready to give billions of dollars to, Lockheed Martin for a new fighter jet. You know this, so these guys could go out and buy Lockheed Martin stock, and all of a sudden, that this was completely legal, and so I mean, in a way. It's one of those, it's kind of a thing. Do I think people should still be, but I still think that insider trading rules should apply to government officials. I mean, I don't think there should be any, because if you don't have public access, if public doesn't have access to the information, you can't act on it either.
They'll circumvent it with, what they'll do is they'll unload everything and they'll say, yeah, I'm not touching anything. And they'll have a person, if they're going to be in office, they'll already arrange a person they'll start paying off. And that person will be buying on behalf of them under a corporate name or whatever. And then they'll buy the corporation for $1 and then they're back in the same spot. You're never going to get rid of it. The fact of the matter is, if you get rid of we, the corporation, which took over we, the people, which is not how our founding fathers wanted, then you would have it would be simple. I mean, there's certain things that need to be done. If you're running for office in this country, I think there should be a law that you can raise no more than $1 million per state.
1 million per state. You're right. I mean, I agree with that.
$1 million. And I'll tell you who you vote for, no matter if it's Republican, Democrat, Independent, Liberal, whatever. Whoever has the most money come election day, that's the guy or girl you want. Because they know how to get by and manage their money. And that means they're going to manage your money properly. You don't want the guys spending $300 million on ad campaign. He has nothing when it comes to the end of the day.
He has nothing.
Right? But this is the thing. It's not, and I'm not trying to do this as a socialistic thing. We're all equal, but you know what? Let's give everybody a set budget and see how they manage it. See who's going to win what. Because it's clear that they won't run. No one wanted to run T's ad, DJ T's stuff anymore. They didn't want to run any of his stuff. They wouldn't run it on certain channels because that end of the business got involved in the politics. Instead of reporting the news, they were making the news, and it's not fair. It should be fair and equitable. whoever has the most money at the end of the day, whoever's managed it the right way, got the resources to X, Y, and Z, that's who you want. You know.
Brian, what I liked about your observation is that with all the shows done with Chris and Craig, some of the guests, Charlie always stands out. I think he's focuses on all kinds of issues very clearly. It is what's going on today isn't like what you said. It's not how America was originally founded. I understand. Things, cultural changes are going to happen over time, and it's not the same place as Ben Franklin's East Coast. But how do we get to the point of Ben Franklin having all these little inventions, and he's getting paid for it, in making some money, but he also what he didn't take royalties, but he was able to retire at an early age. And so where do we go from having making a nice living for yourself based on your skills to this like Corleone mentality where you just saw the head off of your horse because you're competition. It's just where did that change come into play?
There's, from my personal opinion of that, there are multiple periods of time that go back 60, 70 years where little changes started to happen, where we the people lost the control, and it was totally started to turn around into we don't care about anything we the people, they distract you with all these things, be it civil rights, be it abortion, be it free Wi-Fi, whatever it is, and they get people all the time with all this stuff. There was a one point in time that the news actually reported on the news. There was only one segment. I remember growing up, there was a local channel called Channel 5, which became Fox 5. But they used to have this one comment with these two old guys in really thick black rimmed glasses that was point counterpoint. And it was Dr. Abrams. How can you say what you're saying about blah, blah, blah? No one really cared, but they reported the news. When you took and you took all the newspaper companies and are now owned by, and media companies are owned by 5 individuals that are very friendly with each other and know it's a business, and then they create news. You're not reporting real news. There's no journalism anymore. There's no real news anymore. There's no source of positive information anymore. They have people running around like chickens with their heads cut off because they can't get real answers for anything. Then they ramp up another distraction, be it Roe versus Wade, Black Lives Matter, the idiots in Portland, which, I mean, when in the history of you growing up, you think any city would have allowed people to come in and make their own take over an entire area of a city?
Yep, and set up basically squat.
I mean, you know what? I give people credit for not going in there. I would have sent the military in there in a minute and ripped them all out. And I would have had every one of them on trial. That's the problem in this. People are because the news isn't being reported properly. they're not giving you two sides of the story. We have a current conflict going on in Eastern Europe right now between one country and the other, but you cannot report on both countries. The news is only coming from one source. You will never hear anything from the other country. We'll call it Russia. Let's call it Russia. You will not hear anything from Russian television, Russian news, nothing. You're getting one side of the story, and it's clearly they are putting out a narrative that they want you to support one side. You cannot make a fair judgment if you're only getting half-assed answers on one side of the coin. This is where we are right now.
Absolutely, you're absolutely correct.
This is the problem we have, and sorry, there are a lot more sheeple than people in this country right now. You should be mad as hell that corporations are not willing to pay farmers fair price for the eggs that are stacked in numerous warehouses right now, ready to come to you, because they want to make $3 more freaking dollars off of you because you want to have bacon, egg, and cheese in the morning. Okay, when is it enough for all of you to stand up and do that? This goes from one side to the other. When is it enough? Have a drunk listening, whatever.
Kings.
I'll be quiet now.
No, you're good. No, I was just I want to address Kings. You know, it was for there. It's like that how Nancy even had an exorcism done in her house, but he said he meant to say done, but he put gun, and it meant I instantly flew to like Constantine. You know, the exorcism. You know, like there's an exorcism gun. I'm like, that's fantastic. You know, come sit there with a bear. You know, spin the tumbler there on the cross.
I mean, look at Nancy Pelosi. I mean, was there one time when she wasn't intoxicated when she was talking to the public?
Yeah, I think she's
lines like, "Well, we've got to pass it to see what's in it." Are you? I mean, like in my growing up, I paid attention to everything, and I mean, my youngest daughter goes, "Did she just say you have to pass something to see what's in it?" And she knows the process. I'm like, yeah, they write the bill. So why don't they just?
Well, they didn't even write the bill. That's the thing. Somebody else does, because it's like, does anybody think that a congressman or a senator wrote a 2,000-page bill?
No.
In a couple of days? No, that thing was already done before the election was even over. They just rolled it out. And
you have somebody in this state of Florida. I think her name is Kat McCormick, and she's usually on Facebook a lot. Heavyset woman, and she's in Congress, and she was talking about this. Why is it that in all these damn bills they put, okay, we'll have a bus bill, and then we need this, we need X, Y, and Z, instead of doing individual bills that are like no more than 300 pages, which if you get enough people, they could read 300 pages. They make 14,000 page laws and bills, and you can't get to it, and you don't know what's snuck into it.
You're right. At the last page, it might say your mama's stupid, and she'll
your mama's a whore.
And then you be like, well,
we got to get to Congress right now. Jarrell, you got to get Chris in Congress. So at the end of the bill, your mother's a whore. Oh,
your mother's a whore.
Yeah.
So,
all the yeas, please.
I'm not voting on the bill because the last page of 3,296 pages says your mama's a whore. So I can't vote on it. I can't vote.
Well, a lot of people just like, as we're wrapping it up here, a lot of people like Ron Paul. Everybody was like, he was the they treated him like, this guy was a champion. I'm like, you don't understand. He was actually a master at achieving pork for his district. And that because what he would do is basically, with this quick example, Chris, I need your votes for this thing. Like I said, but here's what it is. I can't vote for because this is my thing. I can't vote for these things. But what I need you to do is I need to make sure that you vote yes for this, so it's going to pass. And I introduce because I want some squirrel flywheel, testing to be done in my district. So I get all these millions put in there, and then so I make sure Chris and Brian and Mark are voting for this. So you guys go and you vote for this. It's proof. But as the vote's going, I vote. No, this pork is ridiculous. This excess spending, this is against American values. I am not for this. I'm not for this. The vote still passes, and guess what? I have all that stuff going to my district.
Yeah.
And I can still come out and say, I've never voted for these bills. And it's all Yeah, it's all BS.
Yeah. Ron Paul actually was believe it or not, he was a really interesting guy.
Yeah, he was a
Down to
master at that.
Right. Besides that, but politically, he probably would have been a good choice. Here's the problem with that. The problem is he had no plan for outside of the U.S. And the United States being a global superpower, you cannot have a plan just for the U.S. and not address foreign issues. So that was where his downfall is. I mean, I would literally like to get rid of everybody in everybody in office right now. You're done. And I think
we need term limits so bad.
Term limits. No, we don't need term limits. What we need is called capital crime. If you are in office, no matter if it's a speeding ticket or a major, like you've been caught taking money, you should be killed. I'm sorry.
How about if we just
crazy, but that's it.
How about if we narrow it down to just integrity?
Yeah.
But that might be asking for too much.
Yeah.
They have a guy that's in Congress right now from New York that I think he's like from South America someplace. He's lied about everything. He's lied about being Jewish. Doesn't look anything like he's Jewish.
Oh, Santos.
I mean, the guy is just. I mean, part of me is like, yeah, you know what? He's playing the game, right? He's playing the game. But
he honestly feels like this is one of those, I'm going to see just how much stuff I can do before they finally just say, no more, I can't accept this. I mean, we're talking, the stories are coming out that he was a cross-dresser, that he was trying to marry a woman, then he was wanting to marry a guy, and he's lied about his whole record. And you're just like, yeah, you're like, dude, I mean, you literally, it's like you just took all the stuff that you think that they're going to complain about and you just put it all in one little package. We're going to see how much they can take before they finally just tap out and say, we can't do anymore. No more.
Like, if he's gone through this whole process, he's not going to get hurt. Ilhan Omar married her own freaking brother, where she's from Minnesota stan, right? She's a Minnesota.
Nobody's done it. Yeah.
You know what? We got to get past our feelings and how, like, my kids try that. I don't know if you guys kids do it. Like, you've really hurt my feelings. I'm like, in my day, my mom would have hurt my ass.
Yeah. Mason would be like, Dad, you really hurt my feelings. Okay, well, back in the day, it was an ass hurt. Not a hurt
sucks
feelings.
to be you.
Maybe, Erlen, maybe.
I can end on a paranormal note for you.
You can't. All you can see is Kiss. You don't know what's underneath here. So, yeah,
it's American Steel. We can end with the paranormal if you want to end with the paranormal thing.
Yeah, we can do it real quick.
Okay, I was going hiking with my wife when the sea started, and the kids, and my daughter. I took a picture of her, my youngest, and this is the picture. Okay. My wife and my older going over, they're moving ahead, and there she is. There's my youngest. But here's the fun part about that. You notice her finger, it's lit up, right?
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't a sun flare or a dog. So what it was, I'm going to stop sharing the screen. I'm going to show you exactly what it was because I loaded it up, and I'm going to share my screen one more time. This is exactly what was caught on her finger, and I literally believe it was.
A booger?
No, a fairy, an elemental fairy. That is legitimate. You can see wings on it. You can see legs and feet. Yep. And it just so happens in the area where it was caught, there is these things called the stone chambers. We've had Bigfoot interactions in that area and on investigations, and we've had interactions audio caught in one of the stone chambers. When we mentioned the world of the Phoenicians, we got drumming on the drum machine. So I thought that would be
that is cool.
Yeah, it's super cool, but she's also not of this earth. My youngest, she's really weird, well above her age, but not willing to date that other guy that started this program with.
Yeah, God. Oh. No, that's not even something you want to joke about. It's like, I don't even know. I'm still.
Yeah.
That story.
You're wearing the Kiss underwear too, because I know Gene Simmons has those.
Yeah, man, there isn't a thing that isn't Kiss branded.
No, there is not.
Nah, Craig probably got SpongeBob boxers on.
Sandy cheeks.
And in doubt, penis out.
It's this show is brought to you ERT. You might even be able to hear a Kiss song or two on Radio, where you can go to Mixler. Now that I've spelled it correctly on the scrolling thing there, I spelled it with a K. I don't know how that happened. It's not even close on the keyboard, so it's not like I can say I fat fingered the keyboard. I mean, I must just like Hulk smash the keyboard to get that spelling. So yeah, you can go to Mixler.com, set there, and get your free account there, and like I said, Mixler will send those tunes and great shows straight to your ear holes. Just rattle it around there.
Did you say
Yeah.
straight to your holes?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking of different things I could say. I could be real provocative. Let Radio make love to your ears. I'm like, no, that's just too dirty. You can't do that.
That sounds better than your holes.
No, I said ear holes. I didn't say your holes. Ear holes.
I didn't hear ear holes.
Yeah, of course you didn't. Dirty man. So you could follow, the guy down there in the Chef Boyardee hat, giving homage to my cooking that I've been posting there. You can find him on Nightlight Radio there. And so with Barbara DeLong, they've got many people that we have on the show, plus many more that just because they've got. I mean, you guys are into you guys are probably close to what 400 or 500 shows easily.
I think it's more than that, but
yeah, I was gonna say it's a lot.
Have you had Craig on?
A lot of them were before Barbara brought me on board. Was that Brian?
Have you had, what kind of show is it? Like, do you talk about, like, do you have Craig on and talking about weird things, or you do?
Say it again.
It's a variety show. Craig's co-hosted
your
with
ears.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go.
We did. Was that
I thought you froze there for a second.
No, I was thinking,
it's just like you did it perfectly.
Yeah. It was like Naked Gun, right?
Yeah, it was perfect. I was like, I loved it.
There's nothing to see here. Go back inside. I think you helped me with when Catherine was a guest. I think we continued the conversation with her. It's just a variety show.
Cool.
I
think it's awesome. I love what new shows. So, and I'm up late, so
Yeah, so definitely check that out. The easiest, you can go to YouTube. Also just channel Barbara DeLong.com, and they put all the shows up there, and it's BarbaraDeLong.com too is another source to get to the actual audio files. Correct.
Right. Yep. You can go to her YouTube page on the home page and scroll down. It's all the one in the last row and click on it, and you can see like about the last dozen shows and all the shows from the different hosts.
Awesome. I'm looking at it right now.
Yep, and you can then obviously the other guy here, Brian. I'm trying to find your little picture here. I don't know what happened to it. I had it up.
I was just playing around today.
Yeah, and all of a sudden I took it, deleted it.
I do have I have another show coming out.
There it is.
We're going to start.
So he apparently, he does have a suit.
I do.
There it is. And so, cryptozoologist, UFO researcher, metaphysical, paranormal, remote viewer, available for hire for any, for parties, bar mitzvahs.
What are you doing hiking in the woods in a three-piece suit?
I didn't. I actually went to, there was a Masonic charity event in West Palm Beach, and so my brothers came down, so I went to go visit and talk about charity. We do give, we are the only organization that does a boatload of money, multi-millions every day.
Freemasons are Satanists.
We are.
We're not saying this for the Illuminati, but
that's right.
Knights Templars are Freemasons.
Oh my
But,
God.
other than that, so I just wanted a different picture because I did drop some weight. I'm trying to get down to my original weight of 8 pounds 10 ounces, and this big freaking head on top of a little body. I can go date older people too.
Orange on a toothpick.
Yeah, seriously. But so sometimes whenever you have you have good lighting or whatever, you just you ask your kid to take a picture, and she's like, oh, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry to make you get up for once.
I know.
You're
Sorry to
only
make
getting
you earn your
this-
your keep.
Yeah. So I just do different posters and just pop them up because some of the images that are being used for me now are someone actually used an image. I like to put Photoshop, so I put my face on Christopher Walken's head with hair, and they actually used it once for advertising for a promo, and I'm like, that's Christopher Walken's head, right? They're like, really? I'm like, I
Oh
thought that
my
was your hair.
God.
No, it wasn't the watch. No. So I just put those out there. But yep.
Well,
That's it.
yeah, it's I don't like your prediction, by the way, that you did 6 hours ago. I don't like that one.
Get used to it. It's gonna happen.
I know.
Yeah,
That's for another show. Yeah.
Brian, if you get down to your 8 pound 10 ounce
4 ounces.
or original weight, maybe some Amazon girl could date you, and it'd be just like a reversal of the first show or the first topic we discussed on the show tonight.
God, it's so creepy. It's so creepy.
But that would be okay.
It's almost as creepy as like really small petite women dating like basketball players that are like 7-8 feet tall, and they just when they're standing there together as a couple, they're up at the guy's crotch.
Yeah,
I've seen that. It's really not. It's weird.
I got a friend I went to school with. She's like 6'2". She played basketball, and she's like, "Hey, ladies, short ladies, leave the tall men for us because there's not very many. So leave the tall men for us, and y'all take the short guys that match your height." I'm like, "Wow, you're stupid."
By the way, I can't help this, Mark, with you wearing the hat and the apron. I cannot help to remember an episode of the Simpsons where Homer goes to space and it's like this question's for the guy wearing the Kiss the Cook apron, and he has to give an answer to what happens if he comes back to Earth and it's all messed up. Great episode, but
that's awesome. I was waiting for a Swedish Chef reference, especially when you had the spoon and you had that stuff right there.
Yeah, I was supposed to.
Yeah, see,
yes, that's a Swedish Chef. That's a
and I was supposed to wear that onesie when Varla came back, and it was like her design, and I think there was like some comment about vampires or something on the onesie. But you'll have to get her back so I can wear that.
Yeah, we need to.
Onesie.
As soon as she needs to come out with another book for us here. So hopefully that one comes soon.
But
yeah,
she has a clothing line.
Really?
Yeah. Brian needs to do an interview with her. He'll never be the same after talking with her.
Nobody's ever the same after talking with any of us.
Mark, I'll find out the information. I'll get her on.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we can.
Need the HBO thing.
We can put you in touch with her. Yeah, you might want to book her. Send her an email so you can get it first thing in the morning and book her for Halloween. It's it's not that super far off, but
I can't even think that
she's
far
in high
ahead.
demand.
Larry, that's fantastic.
Oh, okay.
Don't think of a player spinning a basketball on his fingertip. It's like what, like a hand puppet? Terrible. Terrible. Who came up with that?
That's awesome.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we just had thing just come flying in.
ERRT radio.
Earth Radio is the sponsor of
It's like
this
the meteor.
chaos. Yes, we need. I'm kind of coming up with some ideas because we need to have something for a promo for that. So, but everybody, I want to thank everybody for watching. This has been a lot of fun. Next week we got one. We're going to try to get ourselves shut down. Apparently, because pretty much everybody that touches this topic runs the risk of running afoul. So we have to be really careful. Generation Z is going to be on.
Yes.
And we're going to be talking anti-gravity technology, both theoretical and realized. So people that have come up with this technology and tried to get it out of there, they're not with us anymore. They're dead. So this is not something that cavalier people just casually come up like, I came up with this thing, because if you come up with the invention, you're not with us anymore.
Yeah. Mental note: if you make an engine with water, don't publish it on TikTok or any social media.
Yeah. And so that's going to be a really, really fun topic. Like you said, screw. So if all of a sudden the signal goes, they said, what happened? We got shut down. But
It could be the meteorite.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, so we got to hope we make it to February 1st, so that way, it'll be like Independence Day. The meteor hits the one important satellite.
I'm thinking more February 4th, but whatever.
And so, yeah, so we hopefully that doesn't happen. But so everybody check us out. Like we've been saying, please like, share, subscribe to the show. If you found any value in this, like Rod said, if you found anything, I said, we are not opposed to accepting, things. So you can go to redbubble.com. It's one of our things. Go to redbubble.com/Three Beards Podcast, and you can pick up merchandise from us there. Put that up on the screen here. It makes it easier. Also, you can go to social media. You can support us all there. Obviously, Facebook, YouTube. We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Follow us, like, share, do everything there as well. But most of all, guys, we really appreciate you watching. We're rebroadcast every Wednesday at 11 p.m. I mean, now that he's a sponsor, we need to renegotiate a better time slot. We need the prime time drive home, sir. 11 o'clock at night. This is just this. We're not the garbage radio host anymore that you have to bury at the time when nobody is listening. We need to negotiate our time thing. No, so we're at 11 p.m. Wednesdays every thing. So after it is basically done to where you could watch this show and then you could catch up on the one after what was last week, so you can listen to that too. So that's really the reason we did it. But thank you everybody for the support. We really appreciate it. Like, share, we'll keep beating that dead horse. Do that, but we will be back next thing. Justin just chimed in. He's always got some great ones there. Yeah, let's see, what did he say? The beard grabbed my butt at a fight this weekend. Just be safe out there. Hey, did you touch his beard? Because that's the rule. If you touch the beard, they get to touch your butt. That's the rule. Touch my beard, I get to touch your butt. Marks, what's your rule?
I don't have any rules like that. I don't have any beard to touch. So
what about the hair?
Like
no touching of the hair in the face.
I can not shave for a couple days and
Caress the ponytail and
what happens when they caress the ponytail? What happens?
Yeah.
I don't go out of the house that much, so I don't know. I'm still. If anything happens, I'll be sure to let you know.
Yes. All right. Well, that sounds good. So once again, it's going to come flying in, and
I could call KGP too.
Yeah. Well, hey, everybody, thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next one. Good night.